Hi, is it still September 16th? Still sitting out in beautiful downtown. Oh, dragonfly just flew by. Downtown St. John de Brebeuf in the country here. Anyways, I want to continue part two of Rest in the Lord. I used to believe there were two gods, one in the Old Testament, and then there was Jesus, a bad guy you had to be scared of, and then sweet old Jesus is always so good to everybody. But now I see that's not true. It is only through mankind's blindness throughout the ages that we've been confused. God has been progressively revealing himself as men are able or willing to listen. And finally, Jesus came to declare God in full blast, the whole fullness of God, God in the flesh. We read the Old Testament still today with a religious bitterness, and we see God having only judgment and no grace. We blame God for this cancer and the sickness and the infections. We blame God for the wars and the earthquakes. We think he's well, he is in control, but ultimately all things are going to work for the best. But he's not causing this. And God is all good things, and there's no darkness in him. No, it's not our God. Our God is, well, you want to know God? Look at the face of Jesus. And so, because of this religious image of God, which isn't a false God, really, and we seek God. Now we seek God and we go to a church with an angry God, and we look at a God who was always angry with man because of their sins, and his anger towards creation was tough until he finally killed his son to become a good guy. No way. What a bunch of bullshit and hogwash. God is always good. God has always been full of grace and love. It's just that we have a problem in our minds due to religious teachings. Lies. God has never changed. He's always defined by love and grace. So the problem really was mankind without Jesus Christ all those years. The problem was since Adam decided to run away from God, he couldn't see through his own flesh. And God had to progressively wean him and bring him through, progressively showing himself to mankind. So the problem really was mankind's unbelief, not knowing who God was. So God reveals himself in little parts until Jesus came and showed all of God. God revealed a little part to Moses when he asked to see God's grace, but it says that God only showed his backside. But Jesus showed his face, the fullness of God. That's the difference between law and grace. God showed himself through a man, that God was love, who was willing to lay his life down and die for us. That was God being totally revealed in the gospel, in the face of Jesus Christ, in the cross, in his life. And now we know what God's about. Jesus never hurt a fly. He gave his life and served. That's God. That's really what God is. And we could we could see what faith was really all about when we saw Jesus Christ. We're not saved by our little believing in him. That's religion. We're being saved by his believing in us. The faith of Jesus Christ is what saves us. We are saved by grace through the faith, not of me. We are saved by grace through the faith of Jesus Christ. And we can rest in that. We're being saved.